So, how do you foster the good? And I think it was Edmund Burke who said the only way that evil wins is when good people do nothing, to paraphrase him. Um,
Yep.
what can people who want good and who want to do good, how can we? You can't shield everybody because we have free will, but how do you encourage good? There used to be a time when we encouraged people toward good and not evil. How do you do that as an individual, as a person who has a family, as someone who advocates for life?
Yeah, I think you have to get back to the basics, and that's going to be, strengthening your family life, strengthening your relationship with your children, uh, as well as with Christ. That's going to be the big basis for that. I think in many ways we live in a kind of a broken society where people are longing for something, and when so many people have fallen away from the church, don't really view family life as something important, um, and look at relationships in such a temporary way, that I think that's the trifecta of, if you can turn that around, I think you'll get back to a a better society, and we'll have less less invitations to evil, and so many people that are getting hurt by it.
Catherine, what do you think?
Yeah, I love, John, how you said getting back to the basics. I certainly at the bottom of my life realized that all the things I've been told, getting your dreams, getting to what you thought was the top, it was empty. It was total brokenness until I turned back to God. And this has been abundant life. So, it really is, how are we loving? The world looks at, how can I get what I want? How can I be the top of my game? Whereas, Jesus' way was, how can I serve you? How can I love you? How can I come alongside of you? How can I make this world a better place? Where are the places that what I have can fit in to make a better society? Those are the pieces. And the other part is being truthful. I mean, we've got to prepare our young people, as John answered the questions, why do they do this? How did they get there? And, how many times have I asked myself, how did I get here? And I always come back to, there was a decision I had to make that had two paths. And I went right when I should have gone left. I followed my dreams, listened to the world that said, there are no consequences. Do whatever you want. It's all about you. You've got 7.8 billion people in the world doing that. That's a mess. That's where we are. And so my encouragement is really to become a servant, because you are so loved by God that you want to have a positive impact on the world. And that's how we turn this around.
Beautiful, beautiful. Catherine, tell us, do you have a website or an organization that you're most directly involved in? How can people support you and find out more about you?
Thank you so much. The biggest organization I'm with is the American Association of Pro-Life OBGYNs, which, while it has that name, everybody's welcome. Any medical professional, any specialty. It's the only national secular pro-life medical organization doing a lot of good. So I'm on their board, and I'm the president of the first state chapter, which is here in Colorado. So that would be the best way to reach me, is through them. I'm also sitting on the board of Save the Storks for the Medical Advisory Board, who are really expanding what the pregnancy resource centers can do, moving from the resource model to really a true medical model, so we can expand the kind of care that women want, which is to value them and their children, and to not offer death as an option. So those are the three major things I'm doing in Colorado, nationally, and with Save the Storks.
That's wonderful. I love Save the Stork. I love the name, first of all, but
Me too.
do is just very,
Yeah.
very smart in terms of pro-life advocacy. That you get to that connection and get them to connect that, see this little life floating around in you, here, we'll make it easy for you to make a different choice. And Bernard Nathanson, who, the late Bernard Nathanson, who had that major transformation and spent the rest of his life advocating for life where he had brought death, he made that connection that the minute that they see that they connect to that life in them, there's no way of getting them to kill it. They'll have to kill, they'll have to kill something themselves in order to kill it. So
that's right. Can I add one more thing? Coming from
Sure.
Colorado, I moved here 5 years ago, and people have given up on places like Colorado. Colorado is the aim of the legislature is to become the #1 destination for abortion in the world.
wow.
Their tagline is that we've always been leaders in abortion. And so my encouragement to people is to never give up. The light and the darkness is the way that we live is so different than the darkness. It shines. I truly believe that Colorado can become a leader in life instead of death. And so my encouragement is however dark it is where you are, you actually shine when you stand there for love and truth and doing good works, but also using your mouth for good. So don't ever give up. Start with prayer. Give your life over to saving lives.
Yeah. That, I mean, we had our reasons for leaving California, and it wasn't, I mean, yeah, it's a dark place. It's got some of the major stuff going on, but it was because God called us here. But it's not like there's not stuff going. I mean, we are the epicenter of this now IVF argument. Where Alabama law, the Supreme Court said, no, an IVF embryo is a life, and yes, this person can sue for you destroying their embryo. And they have twisted that. I've written about it. They've just twisted it all ways to Sunday to make it sound like, oh, Alabama's backwards, and you need, and there are organizations that are trying to erode the stand for life that Alabama has taken. So it's not like you're going to escape by moving to a red state or moving someplace different. You, as you were saying, you pray and you shine the light where you are, even if you think a place is, has all of the light and it's a safe haven, quote unquote. There's no such thing. Evil's intent is to destroy. The Satan's attempt to steal, kill, and destroy. John 10:10 says that, but Jesus came to give life. And so if we can just be the arbiter of life where God calls us, then it makes a huge difference in being where God calls us. So I appreciate you saying that. And John, from It's Not About the Badge, I seriously can't believe it. It makes me feel old, frankly, because it's like, oh my God, I covered that in 2022, but it's not about the badge, and it's not about the sex, and now it's not about the devil. Where can they find more information on those books as well as what you do?
Sure. So I have a website at www.itisnotabout.com. And all of my books sell on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. It can be on an ebook, audio, etc. So I just encourage the audience to come and check it out.
Yeah, definitely. They really are lovely pieces of writing, as well as good thought-provoking subject matter that